Hello and welcome to Sudoku. In today's video, we will talk about soft skills required in tech. Whether you are a software engineer or you're looking on to become a senior software engineer, whether you're planning to change your career track into engineering management or you want to go towards the architect path, in any case, these soft skills will be very useful to you. And it is less often that we talk about soft skills other than the technical skills. Of course, technical skills are the base and foundation which are required, but these soft skills are required as you move on to become more and more senior in the tech role that you are working in. And I'm very happy to announce that this video is sponsored by Pact. Pact is a publishing company and they have published a lot of technical books which are very highly rated. Here are some examples of the books that they have published. One of the books that I have read recently is the Solution Architect's Handbook. We'll talk more about that book towards the end of the video. Pact is offering a giveaway for my subscribers. You stand a chance to win the hardcover copy of the Solution Architect's Handbook. Please stay tuned in the video to know how to get that. We will talk more about Pact towards the end of the video. Let's get started. Ideally, there are numerous soft skills that one can acquire and apply to in their day-to-day job, which can help them flourish and grow in their jobs. But I'm going to talk about some of the key soft skills that any software engineer would require to move forwards in their career. The first and the foremost is communication skills. Whenever we talk about communication skills, it seems that writing emails or writing Slack messages, verbal communication or written communication is what we talk about. But I would like to articulate communication skills. Basically, you can write an email, you can write a Slack message, you can talk to your peers or other managers, product managers, and other people whom you work with on a day to day basis. But the key thing to improve there is how you articulate your thoughts. If you're able to articulate your thoughts well, the communication becomes effective and your work processes with your peers becomes easier. Let's see what I mean using an example. Let's say that you want to ask your product manager for requirements. Here is what you can say using a Slack message or an email or maybe face to face communication. That I need the requirements for this project, and I don't think that the requirements are all clear, and I am still dependent on you, or I am blocked on you, or if you don't give me this, I won't be able to move my work forward. In a way, you are communicating. So you might be thinking that I communicated, I asked for the information that I needed, but I would say that you're not being articulate enough. If you're just saying that I need the requirements to move forward, it might not make full sense to the product manager because they might think, okay, I have given you something to work with. And sometimes in fast paced environments, it happens that they might think that, okay, you have something to work with, you start working on it, and then I'll come with more requirements later on so that at least the work is not stopped or paused. But what do I mean by being articulate here? You can actually tell the product manager that listen, if we start building this product with limited requirements, there is a risk that we might have to rewrite whatever we have done so far, or we might have to change the way we have done the implementation, and it might impact the overall delivery of the project or the overall efficiency and correctness of the task. So it would be better if we can sit down and at least hash out the major things which cannot block us in future, and we can continue working on the same. When you phrase it like this, when you put the information like this, it becomes very clear to the product manager or anyone for that matter that what is your intent. So the intent is very important in communication, and then you have to be very articulate with that intent. That is one of the tips that I would give when it comes to improving your communication. Next part I would say is you should keep your communication very concise but still packed with information. Let's say someone wants just the impact you have created using a project. Two lines of communication sharing the impact, how much needle you have moved, or how many users you have onboarded, or how much dollars you have saved using your work. That much is enough. The information that you're providing or sharing with other stakeholders, that should be very concise and it should be to the point. So that is also one of the things you should look out for when you're trying to improve your communication skills. And lastly, I would say this is something that I have learned over past year. Learn rephrasing. There are multiple ways you can say the same thing. Always try to think once, twice, or maybe thrice whenever you're saying something and see how you can rephrase it better and better. Again, let me give you an example. Let's say you are a backend engineer and you want some API contracts from your front end engineer and you are blocked on him or her. One way of saying this is, hey, when can I get those API contracts? I'm blocked on you. And there's nothing wrong in this, but it can be rephrased to, hey, can you please give me an ETA as to when you will be done with those API contracts? Because if I can have that ETA, I would be able to prioritize my task accordingly. When you rephrase it this way, you are making your intent clear that you want to prioritize your task. If the other person will take time, you can do something else in that meantime, and you're not putting any pressure on the other person. As compared to the first sentence where you said, hey, I'm blocked on you, that creates subconsciously a pressure or a negative impact on the other person, that he is accountable for making delays or something on those lines. So always learn to rephrase your sentences. Maybe try to think about how can I say the same thing in a more positive and fun manner. It is always good to add a fun element or add a positive spin on the things that you say. That helps you build better relationships at work, and indirectly that helps you deliver your work in a better and a faster way. And also you would be able to enjoy working with each others, and others will also be able to enjoy working with you. So try to learn rephrasing. Next soft skill that you will find very useful is ownership. Now, what do we mean by ownership? It's very clear when you think about it. Yeah, you have to own things. But what does it mean in the context of working in tech? If you can spot the right problems that your team or domain or department is facing, and if you can step up to solve those problems, it will be beneficial not only for you and your team, it will be beneficial for others around you. That will also cultivate a trust towards you from others. Would be able to see that, oh, this guy or this girl went ahead and took the ownership and provided a solution for something that was being a pain point for everyone. So think about it and try to see how you can be an owner with respect to whatever work you are doing. I have done this multiple times in my previous companies. For example, in one of the startups that I worked for a brief period of time, there was no program manager or there was no scrum master for our team. Even though I was an engineer, I just took up that role for about 3 months, and we delivered project on time. I just learned new skills there, and I also realized that it's okay to be step into the shoes of someone that you are not. And if you can have those skills, or if you can step into the shoes of someone else who's not present, or some role that is lacking, or there is no one to do that work, if you can do that and if you can add value to your team, to your company, it is very beneficial for your career growth. So try to spot those opportunities and try to own everything. Now, talking about ownership with respect to your own work as well. Let's say that there are no challenges to solve or there are no problems to solve. Other than that, how can you demonstrate ownership in day-to-day job? What you can do is, whatever work you're doing, be it a small feature or a big project or anything, make sure that you hold yourself accountable and responsible for delivering that work. If you do that, and the people around you who are counting on you can rely on you, that okay, if this piece of work is given to certain person like Mr. X or Miss Y, they will definitely finish it, complete it, and keep you updated about the progress. Again, that builds a strong sense of ownership in you as well as in others, because they can count on you. So this is another soft skill which is very important to learn, and I have already explained how you can learn it and apply it. There might be a downside to this skill, that you would be given a lot more work, or you would become famous as, oh, let's this has to be done, let's call this guy or this girl. But there are always trade-offs in life for whatever we do, so you can choose. Next skill that I want to talk about is adaptability or flexibility. It might happen in various companies that the requirements are changing over time, or the priorities are getting shifted. If you are flexible with those, first you will have less internal conflict. You will be able to expect that today I'm doing something else, tomorrow I might be asked to pick something else, or I might be asked to shift my priorities, or a project might get shut down. You would have to move to another team, or a reorg can happen. Like, there are n number of things that can happen. If you are flexible in your mindset, it benefits you in two ways. One, it helps you to stay peaceful, like you don't get anxious, or you don't get bothered that why these changes are happening, because in a way you have trained your mind to be flexible, and you can deal with those changes very effectively. And second, it also creates a good impression of you around others, because then people who are working with you, not just your peers or managers, everyone who is working with you, they would feel, oh, this person is easygoing or this person is flexible. And everybody likes people who are easy to work with. Nobody likes difficult people. So this is also one of the skills that you can learn and train your mind to be adaptable and flexible, see unprecedented changes, foresee that okay, some things can go wrong, and be prepared for that. It takes some time to get to there. For example, when I was working as a junior engineer some 7 8 years ago, I used to get very annoyed whenever whatever I have built was changed, or I was asked to pick one task over the other. But over time, as I got comfortable with these changing things, it actually helped me to keep peace of my mind, and also witnessed me building better relationships with my peers. And the most important part is the more flexible you are, the more you would be seen in a leadership position, because leaders have to deal with a lot of changing things, a lot of moving things, and the more flexible and adaptable they are to the changes, the better leader they make. Next soft skill that I want to talk about is influence. Now, when I say influence, I don't mean that just go become an influencer. I mean to say that the way you present your work, or the way you convince others to use certain tech, or maybe the way you try to sell a project or sell something that you have to do. Maybe your services need some optimization, or maybe there is a rewrite that has to take place, and you have to convince everyone to do that. The better you are at presentation skills, the more influence you have. So let's say that you have worked on like a complete new project, and you want to share that project's progress and how it is going to help your team and domain, and you want to present it. The better presenter you are, the way you speak, the way you build your slides, the way you show your work to everyone, the better it will be for you, because then others would know that one, you have done commendable work, and second, you know how to present your work, you know how to put your work out there in the world, so that people can actually understand it and they can utilize it if it is useful for them. And this you can do when you have very good presentation skills. So I would say, do invest time in that. Don't think that, oh, why do I have to make PowerPoint slides? No, make PowerPoint slides. Learn how to present slides in a group of audience like 10, 15, 20, 100 people. Because as you want to grow more senior, you would have to do this on a larger scale, and you would have to do this on a day-to-day basis with your teams and larger set of teams. So build those presentation skills, be influential in terms of whatever work you are doing, and try to present your work and try to be a good presenter. The next skill that I want to talk about is really important, and I think irrespective of your position in the company, you should still be doing this, and that is mentorship. By mentorship, I mean you can always train people around you. You can always teach people around you the work you have done. They can learn from your mistakes. You can always be that mentor for them, which you never had. That way, we all actually increase our IQ and EQ level, and we all bring raise the bar around us for the people if we are good mentors. You can teach a class, you can take a course, you can build a course, you can just write some blogs, whatever is best suitable for you, do that. If in your organization you get a chance to mentor a junior, please do that. You will build a good relationship with your juniors, and second, you will be able to understand your own work better. And more than that, the your mentee can sometimes bring ideas to the table that you might not have thought of. So you would also have a learning opportunity there. So please do this, because as you grow more and more senior, people would be looking up to you. And if you are a good mentor, it will be easier for people to get inspired by you and look up to you. So please try to mentor people. That is also a good soft skill to have. Now, the last skill that I want to talk about is not the least, and I kept that at last because that's an important one, and that is thought leadership. I already talked about this book, Solution Architect's Handbook. One of the chapter in that book is dedicated to soft skills, and actually you can read more about thought leadership and other skills which are required for very senior leaders in an organization. There is a whole chapter dedicated to it. You can just check that chapter out, and you can also check about thought leadership in that book. But I will try to summarize it what I think about this skill. Thought leader is someone who actually inculcates or sets a new vision for a large number of people, or basically a larger audience. For example, when you're working as an engineer, you can be owning a couple of services or a small domain. But when you grow more and more senior, you might be owning the whole vision or the whole department, or maybe multiple departments, and you might want to set the vision for that department, that how your particular tech space is going to look like after 10 years, or what is the vision. I can give you an example of a visionary, or basically whom I think was a very great thought leader, Alan Turing. So Alan Turing actually had this belief that the computer science theory can actually be formalized, and he came up with this theory of computer science and formalized the algorithms. And that's why today we are all where we are, because of his work decades ago. So thought leader can be someone who has completely their own space. As long as their thoughts and beliefs are backed by data points and research, they can create their own niche. They can think like 10 years, 20 years in ahead, and set vision for their departments, teams, or organization that they are working on. This is not something which very we can understand or do in the starting of our career, because this requires a lot of experience and a lot of exposure. But this is also something to think about as you grow more senior. Now, coming back to Pact. Pact has promised to give three hardcover copies of the Solution Architect Handbook to three of my subscribers. Now, how can you get it? So, what you have to do is just leave in the comments what is the title for the fifth chapter of the Solution Architect's Handbook, second edition, and I will just try to run a random lottery or whatever and choose three people and give send the books your way. So please do that if you're interested in that career path, and if you want the book, you can just leave it in the comments. And also talking about Pact, Pact is not just publishing the technical books. Pact also has a Discord server. The link is in the description. They also have a full course library where you can just learn and access the resources. Again, the links are in the description. And also for this book, Solution Architect's Handbook, there is a discount going on. There is a 25% discount that you can avail. I have included that as well. With respect to the video, if you have any questions, or if you disagree with something, or you think that there could have been something better, or if I have missed on some very important soft skill, please feel free to add that in comments as well, and we can have a discussion, or we can have a follow-up video. Till then, take care. See you in the next video.